So I'm hoping that by restarting the computer there, that all of my technical difficulties are solved. In the last class, we went to the next slide, which looks like this, and so we said we're going to do 2 examples today. And I come back and we did this example, and then we went to the next slide again, and the graph was gone, all the function was gone, it was like all blank again. Yeah, exactly. That's why I restarted the computer, and hopefully that solves everything. Because like the timer down here in the corner wouldn't even give me a timer; it would just give me the pause button. And so I'm like, whoa. Something's up. Okay, so here's my plan for today. 2 examples, both graphs. Okay, my plan is to give you 15 minutes to get this one done. Then I'll go over it. Then I'll give you 15 minutes again to do the next one, and then the rest of the time is yours. Okay? Okay? So 15-minute timer starts now. If you're watching the video, you should pause, do this one, and then restart. And we're back. All right. So on top, I would factor out a 4. That would leave me with x minus 1. On the bottom, I would butt cheek it, and I would look for 2 numbers that multiply together to be -5 and add to be +4. So I would choose +5 and -1. Okay? Again, always look for a factor from the top, because usually the top is easier to make it so that it crosses out. And then I would say self, there's an x minus 1, there's an x minus 1. Those both cancel out. So my new function is going to be 4 over x plus 5. I go back to my original one for my domain. All real numbers, but x cannot be, and so I look back here at my factored form, x plus 5 equals 0, so that's going to give me x is -5. So x cannot be -5. X minus 1 equals 0. X equals 1. X cannot be +1. After that, I am only looking at my new function from here on out. Okay? So step number 1 now continues with, now I'm looking at my new function, and the only vertical asymptote there would be x equals -5. I look at my new function, and I say the degree on the top is 0. The degree on the bottom is 1. That is small over big, so that is y equals 0. That's my horizontal asymptote. I look at my new function, and I say I've got to plug in 0 to get my y-intercept. 0 plus 5 is 5, so that becomes 4/5. I look at my new function to get my x-intercept, and I say I have to set the numerator equal to 0. 4 equals 0 is bad maths, so there is none x-intercepts. I look at what I factored out from my original function, and that was I factored out the x minus 1. So I'm going to set that equal to 0, and I get x equals 1. So my whole is going to be at 1 comma something. I plug in to my new function 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. 4 divided by 6 is 2/3. So I've done my work. Now let's work my work. Vertical asymptote -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Missed it by a little bit. We'll go back and post and fix that up. y-intercept of 0, 4/5. That's like 0, 0.8 right there. Whole at 1, 2/3. That's everything that I got from my initial stuff. So now I've got to do step number 7. So I would say let's go with -4. We'll finish off that side. If I go -4, I've got 4 over +1, which is 4. That to me seems to be enough information to say, oh, this one's going to turn up. Stop, pick up, continue on. Then I've got to do the other side. So let's do -6. That would be 4 over -1. That would be -4. Let's do -7. That would be 4 over -2. That would be -2. Let's do -10. That would be 4 over -5. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my graph. Yes? Questions, comments, concerns, clarification? Okay. All of that stuff should be on your supplemental note sheet for you, so you just literally have to, I gotta do this, 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 then I wait till Monday to do this. Okay, the graph showed up. Example number 2. Again, I will give you 15 minutes to do this one. If you're watching at home, once again, you should pause, do this problem, then restart to say, now I can see the answer. Here we go. Yes, yes, yes. So if I factor the top, I can factor out a 3. Yes?
Correct.
X plus 3. Love it. If I factor the bottom, I get X plus 2 and X minus 2. Does anything factor out?
No.
No, nothing factors out. So that means what? No holes. Okay? So that means we can go on to step number 1. The domain of this function is going to be all real numbers except plus or minus 2. The vertical asymptotes for this function are going to be x equals 2 and x equals -2. The horizontal asymptote for this function is going to be y equals 0. Degree of 1 on the top, degree of 2 on the bottom. Small over big. Okay? The y-intercept for this function, plug 0 back into my function. And I get -9/4. Easiest to do that one in the unfactored one. Okay? That's where it's easiest because any x term just goes away. +9 over -4. X-intercept, Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. We set the numerator equal to 0 and solve for it. Divide by 3 first. Subtract 3. Gets me an x-intercept of -3, 0. Do I have a hole? No, no hole. Didn't factor anything out. Love it. All right, let's put all that information on our graph. And then we've got some explaining to do. All right, so first off, we've got a vert asymptote there, and a vert asymptote there, and then we've got a horizontal asymptote there. And I should move that over because that's just a little OCD and whoa, got the brakes. Go up here with it. A little bit, give me a little more space. All right, there we go. Love it. Oh, got the brakes, got to put some more in. Jen, don't forget that your homework is due tomorrow. And a quiz tomorrow, too. So we got that, right? Oops, and then we got this, too. Am I okay with that purple dot? Yes. Yeah, because it's on a horizontal axis, right? I'm okay with horizontal axis. Vertical axis, no applies. Okay? So, based off of this very work that we have, in that middle section, that middle zone, it can't cross over a vertical asymptote, right? So in that middle zone, it's either got to turn up on both sides, turn down on both sides, or turn up on one side, down on the other. Okay? In this particular case, based off of this information, what's going on in the middle zone? Lucas. Why? Yep. And that's not in there, so it's got to go down. It can't go up because then we would have 3 x-intercepts, and our work said we only had 1. Okay? So it's got to go down. Now, just a quick little, let's do -1 and +1. If I put in -1 there, because let's say I didn't understand that, if I put in -1 there, I got -3 + 9 is 6. And then I've got -1 squared is 1 minus 4 is -3. So that's -2. If I put in +1 there, I'd have 3 + 9 is 4, or is 12, excuse me. And then I'd have 1 minus 4 is -3. That's going to be -4. Okay? So really, in this middle one, it still has to both turn down, but it looks kind of a little goofy like that. It's got a little bit of a tilt to it because of that goofy just x value on top. Okay? Love it. Okay? Then we've got to deal with, let's deal with the easy side first. We'll go on the far side. Let's go +3. If I put +3 in there, I got 9 + 9, that's 18. I got 9 minus 4, that's 5. That's going to be a little bit more than 3. 1, 2, and 3, a little bit more, somewhere up right in there. Then, if I go +10, I would have 30 + 9 is 39. 100 minus 4 is 96. That's going to be less than 1 there. So that whole zone over here is going to go like this. Love it. With me so far? Okay. Let me get a little more spacey space. Didn't want to come along with. Whoa, hey now. Let's just take the whole thing. All right, so now we're in the left zone. We already got -3. So then let's go -4. If I plug in -4, I get -12 + 9 is -3 over +12. So that would be -1/4. If I do -10, I get -30 + 9 is -21 over 96. That's going to be less than 1, but negative. Again, as we get closer and closer and closer to my left blue line, it's either got to turn up or it's got to turn down. Okay? So my choices are up or down. So I'm coming through here. coming through here, coming through here, coming through here, coming through here, and I get to there. And it's either going to bounce off that point and turn down, or it's going to cross over and go up. Okay? Now, from my knowledge of Algebra 2, if it's going to bounce off of that and go down, this would have to be a double root, which means that on the numerator, I would have to have 2 x plus 3 factors. Do I have that? No. So it's a crossover. Let's say I didn't know that. The downfall with this one is that we've got it right next to it. It's the very next number next to my asymptote. So I'm going to have to, if I didn't know that, I would have to plug in, get me some more space again. I would have to plug in negative 2.5. And if I plug in negative 2.5, negative 2.5 times 3 is negative 7.5, plus 9 is positive 1.5. Divided by negative 2.5 squared is going to be what? Bigger than 4, right? Bigger than 4, right? Okay? So minus 4, that's still going to be positive, right? So that's got to go up. I came away from that. That's bad. Let's just redo that. What's it? Okay. So you can do all of blue worksheet. Okay. You can do any fixes on any old worksheets because it's progress time. You can turn in any old worksheets because it's progress time. I went through and I figured out what you were all missing and I put it on there so mom, dad, and the world now knows what you're missing. Okay? Right? On top of that, tomorrow you're going to have a summative quiz. Okay? In-class summative quiz. Maybe, if I'm nice, maybe it'll be one side of one page. But again, that's only if I'm nice. Okay?